This is a fantastic report on a great movie, Untouchables. You know what? You did a great job in picking out that clip. You got it ready? All right, Marvin. I'm looking forward to doing this report. The audience is going to love it. Let's do it. Good afternoon. I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500 here in Vero Beach, Florida. Today's topic is the film Untouchables, and we got a great report for you. Now, before we get on to Untouchables, give us a subscribe, a like, a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate you, and it helps keep this content coming your way. Now, thank you for the subscribe. Let's get on to Untouchables. Now, Untouchables is based on a true story, but it's actually more fictional than true. You know, Hollywood kind of puts their own spin on things. But it's still a great film, and I love this film with a great cast and a great story. Now, 1987, Brian De Palma did this film, directed this film, and it tells the story of Al Capone, played by Robert De Niro's rise to fame and prominence in Chicago, selling booze during Prohibition on the black market. And Eliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner, well, he's the Prohibition agent that wants to bring Al Capone down. He wants to send Al Capone to the big house at any cost. He wants to stop all his success, to stop all these profits, and stop selling this booze illegally during Prohibition in Chicago. So he's out to get Capone. Now, we got a great clip, and this clip is viewer discretion advised. It's a very strong, powerful, violent clip. Don't want to tell you too much about it. It's going to tell you this much. They want to get information out of one of Al Capone's gangsters, and they've got him. And they have some unusual ways of doing this, but they work, and it's a great clip. All right, if you're not over 18, if you're not ready for this, turn away for about 30, 40 seconds to come back to the report. If you can handle it, you feel you can handle it, we've warned you, viewer discretion advised. All right, Marvin, you ready? Roll the clip.
You can put Capone behind
Why
bars.
don't you guys just fuck off? Fucking with you, Mr. Hardcase. We have to have that information one way or another.
Not that way.
You're gonna talk, huh?
Out.
You're gonna be begging to talk, but somebody's gonna talk.
You dirty son of a bitch!
Enough out of you.
Hey, come on, you. On your feet. I need you to help me to translate this book, huh? And I'm not gonna ask you a second time. I'm gonna count to 3. Oh, what's the matter? Can't you talk with a gun in your mouth? 1. 2. 3.
She did it, I'm going to don't. I'm going to.
Oh, you're back. You like that scene? Woo! Was that a powerful scene or what? Do you think he talked, folks? He talked. He talked. He sang like a canary after that scene. Are you kidding me? What a great scene. Now we're going to talk about some of the inconsistencies of this film. But don't get me wrong, still a great film, and I love this film. Now, the famous baseball scene where Al Capone makes the big story with all his guys and big meeting, he talks about baseball. And what's the important thing about baseball? Teamwork. And he takes that baseball bat and he kills one of his own guys. That never happened. Now, it's true, on 3 different occasions, Al Capone did attack someone with a baseball bat, so Al Capone has used a baseball bat. But just not that scene like Hollywood presented it. Well, that's Hollywood putting their own spin on it and making an entertaining film. But that actually never happened like they shot that. Now, let's talk about good old Eliot Ness. Eliot Ness, who's trying to bring down Al Capone for selling all this booze illegally on the black market during Prohibition. Well, he's quite the drinker. Yeah, he likes to tip the drinks every now and then. Well, that's kind of hypocritical, don't you think? He actually had a drunk driving car accident, and they tried to cover it up. But they weren't able to cover it up completely because a local newspaper guy did a story on it and they exposed him on that. So a little bit of a hypocrite there, Mr. Eliot Ness. And what about Frank Nitti, the #1 gangster that Al Capone relied on, the one that got thrown off the roof by Eliot Ness? That never happened. He never got thrown off a roof. The real-life Frank Nitti died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in 1943. There's Hollywood putting their own spin on it again. And speaking of Frank Nitti, did you know that Andy Garcia, who played the part of George Stone, well, he was supposed to play the part of Frank Nitti. But he didn't want that part. He wanted to work directly with Sean Connery because he liked Sean Connery and respected him as an actor, and I do too. So he wanted to work directly with Sean Connery, so he said, could I play that part of George Stone? So they let him audition for that part. They liked what he did, and they said, okay, that's the part you can play. And he played that part. I actually think the part of that number one gangster, Frank Nitti, was a little bit more gritty and a little bit more of a juicier part, in my opinion, but he wanted to work with Sean Connery, and he got his wishes. Now let's talk about Robert De Niro, Al Capone. He did a great job playing Al Capone. Do you know, Robert De Niro is a method actor. I believe Al Pacino is also a method actor. And a lot of these method actors are very good. They're really, really good. And if you know what method acting is, then you understand it. But if you don't know, let me give you a little insight. They're taught in class to play the part and be the part. You know, you're not just a tough guy or a cop or a mobster or a biker or a gang member or, you know, a truck driver or a baseball star or an athlete or whatever the part is. You've got to live that part. You got to know that part. You got to become that part. To me, it's a little bit over the top. To me, I could study the part, be the part, and go about my day. They want to live that part, constantly be playing that part, be in that character. And a lot of them do a great job, and it does really good on camera. And Robert De Niro is a method actor, so he's got to really embrace that part. He wants to really be that part of Al Capone. And he learned that Al Capone used to wear these silk undies, you know, silk underwear. So he thought, well, I got to get some silk undies. I got to be, you know, in character. I got to, you know, have those undies on when I do the scenes. Now, he's not doing no scene in his underwear, but when he's doing the scenes, he wants to wear that underwear to feel the part of Al Capone and to really deliver for the cameras. Well, the producers thought this was a little crazy, but they got a tailor special to tailor up some silk undies for Robert De Niro so he can wear them in the course of doing the film and play the part. And of course, he did a fantastic job. It works for him. Personally, it wouldn't work for me. The kind of money he got paid, I'd put the silk undies on. I'd play the part, but I don't need the silk undies. But apparently that was something that De Niro felt was needed, and they did that for him. And he delivered and did a fantastic job. Now, what about good old Sean Connery? Gotta love Sean Connery. In fact, I think he played the best character in that film, and he really was a strong character, and he made that movie, in my opinion. And I think a lot of the people believe that too, because he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in Untouchables. So a lot of people agree with me on that. But the great scene that he had with Kevin Costner in that Catholic church talking about that blood oath, well, that was originally supposed to be shot on the streets of Chicago. But Sean Connery thought about it. He said, you know, this part should be shot in the Catholic Church. I know my very good Sean Connery impersonation. Should be shot in the Catholic Church because in real life they would never shoot this on the streets of Chicago. It would be done only in the Catholic Church where they feel safe having this conversation. And that's what they did. They had it in the Catholic Church. And it was a great scene and it worked really well. Well, these are just some of the things that went on in the course of making Untouchables. I think they're very interesting. I hope you found them interesting. Now, if you want to see Untouchables, you can see it on YouTube, Amazon, DirecTV, and I'm sure a few other places. A great film, great story, just a lot of inconsistencies. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this report. I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500. Have a great day.